biggest one usually is, you're right. That was Beulah. But we don't care. Mother was very good about letting her claim that. Do you remember your first day of school? Where'd you go to school?
First day?
For first grade?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never went to country school.
All right. I didn't know that. Who was your teacher? Do you have any idea?
Mrs. Lucas.
Mrs. Wow. Wow. Is there any special events you can remember at school that was outstanding?
Well, we didn't have a lot of things like they have now, but we had little parties like Valentine's Day. And everybody bought a Valentine, put it in a box.
Uh-huh.
And then everybody got a Valentine.
Okay. Anything funny ever happened that you can think of that you'd like to share with us? I didn't tell her this ahead of time.
I can't think of anything right now.
How old were you when you joined the church?
Well, I probably was 13, I think.
Okay, she's the oldest member of the Presbyterian Church in Prairie City, and has been a member the longest. There used to be an older member, but she had not been a member the longest. So if you were 13, you've been a member how many years?
87.
87 years. Okay. Where did you go to college?
Well, I didn't get to take too much college because when I was senior in high school, my mother died.
Mm-hmm.
And Dorothy was in college, and we girls were home, and so we had to do most of the work because we do all the work. We do washing before we went to school, hanging out, and the neighbor would say, well, if it comes up for rain or something, I'll take the clothes in. So that was the way we did. And so really, and then the next year, Dorothy said, well, I've been 1 year to school, you go this year. I went to cover Stockton.
Okay. How did you meet Dad?
Well, we started in the first grade together.
Right. Tell us a typical date, what you used to have.
What?
Tell us a typical date. What did you do for entertainment?
Well, we had school parties, and the boys would invite the girls to walk them home. We walked, we didn't ride.
Uh-huh.
And so that would be they consider that a date.
I see. Okay. You remember any special date you had, or special how he proposed, anything like that? Or do you want to share?
No, I can't think of anything really special.
Okay.
I can tell you a little story about Beulah, though.
Okay. Because she was a big part of our lives, and she would have been 100 tonight, too.
Well, there was a boy in school. He was a farm boy and the only child, and he was nothing wrong with the kid, but he was clumsy, you know, just a kind of a cod. And he was determined he's going to go with Beulah. And he tried several times to get a date with her, and for some reason she got rid of him. And this time it was just having a school party, and so he was trying to find her, and so she knew he was trying to find her, so she went and hid in the coal bin until he went home and he said, gosh, you gotta wait for me again. Oh dear.
Well, I can remember reading a few books. Beulah had a diary that didn't have very much in it. But when she was dating and in high school, they were putting in the road through Prairie City.
It was in 1925.
Okay, 1925, they put in the hard road that went through Prairie City. And she really did like and did get acquainted with a lot of those men that were building the road, because she talked about it. And dated a few of them.
Yep, she was kind of aggressive.
Wow!
Okay. You got married, and your mother wasn't around. And I know I've heard you say that Beulah and Dorothy both helped you get ready for your wedding. Would you like to share how they helped you and what each of them's job was?
Well, we were married at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We didn't have a reception or anything afterwards, but we had a dinner at home. And of course, as you said, my mother was not living, but we hired a lady in town to come in and help, and she and Beulah actually did it.
Tell them what you served.
I don't remember.
Oh, you told me.
Did I what that
Chicken croquettes.
Okay.
Chicken croquettes. Okay.
I don't remember what
What
else.
did Aunt Dorothy do?
She probably did all the decorating.
She did all the decorating.
That was her
Her specialty. And all the decorating and planning of the wedding. She did the decorating of the arch and all of that kind of thing for the wedding.
Yep.
And that was Aunt Dorothy's job, which was right down her alley. Now, when you moved to Wesley, you had to do a lot of cleaning out because you were in that house a long time. The 2 houses. Can you think of anything special that you found that was a surprise you didn't know you had?
Are you kidding?
I mean, I know you always had to clean every fall and every spring and the house clean.
Yeah.
It was very important to you. But can you think of anything you found that was interesting that you maybe didn't know you had or was special that you'd like to share?
Well, I can't think of anything. I can think of something and I wonder where it is now. Well, when they remodeled the church and put those 2 Sunday school rooms above the back there, you know.
Right, in the back.
And then make the stairway up. And they had to kind of go out into the roof a little bit. And they have the roof was put together by wooden pins. And I had one of those wooden pins.
Oh.
And I don't know where it is.
Wow.
All right.
I had it on top of my clutch cupboard.
Well, things like that do disappear.
Yeah.
Mother. Sometimes they don't look too important. So, anything else you'd
Especially
like to
to Mom.
share? Those are just some thoughts that I thought maybe people would be interested in knowing.
I don't know. If they want to ask me something, then.
Beg pardon?
If they want to ask me something, I'll try and answer it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Tell them about your dressing alike with Beulah.
Well, that worked pretty good until we got to juniors or seniors in high school, and then we didn't like the same thing.
Can you believe that?
And so we got quit dressing alike. But before that, we always everything dressed like. Sometimes one was one color and one was the other, or something like that. But they always dressed us alike until we got, I guess, pretty well through high school.
Did anybody confuse?
Huh?
Did anyone confuse the 2 of you?
Well, we tried to confuse it.
My mother was always the littler one.
Yeah.
And so everyone could always pick her out because she was always the smaller one. Smaller bones.
But one time when Beulah had a blind date. Well, she had a date, the date was Ray.
Oh.
But it was the cousin of Susanna Carter's. And Susanna had a date, so she wanted to get a date for Ray. So she got Beulah.
Oh.
And then after that they went out on a date together, and then they went dated again. But the next time he came, because I hadn't seen him, he hadn't seen me. And so I thought, well, I said to Bill, now I'm going to go to the door and see what he says, see what I get by with.
Uh-huh.
So I went to the door and opened the door, but I didn't get by with it.
He knew the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions you might have for Mom?
Jake has one.
Be careful what you ask for.
Do you remember how
What?
Grandpa Wagner proposed to you?
Do you remember how Grandpa proposed to you?
Not particularly.
Did you ever date anybody besides Dad?
Not very much.
No. I think they'd gone together so long it was just a done deal. I don't think it was a problem. I think after Dad finished the second...
I dated a little bit college, but
Did you? Dad went the first year to Lake Forest, the second year to University of Illinois, and after that, I think he decided he wanted to settle down. So that's when they were
Well,
married.
he knew that his uncle was just holding the farm until he got ready to farm.
Right.
So that's what hurried things up.
And you might tell him what happened to you after you were married just a few months that was traumatic in your life.
Well, we were married in January, the last day of January, and the 10th day of December, our house burned.
Mm.
I mean, it was an old farmhouse with a great iron front door and a solid walnut staircase and all that follower, wraparound porch. And we spent hours and hours all summer long cleaning that up and getting up, the way we wanted it. In fact, upstairs, they used the upstairs, and they used the upstairs in some of the rooms to raise chickens. You can imagine what that would be like. So we had spent the whole summer just working hard as we could to clean that place up and get it so it was livable. And then it burned the second day of December.
When they repaired the chimney, they didn't do it correctly.
The
And
furnace.
the furnace, and consequently they had the fire. And so they lived in a little two-room shop.
Cob and coal house.
And that's where Dick started his beginning of his life. That's the reason he's so little today, because
The one room just had room for, we had a cook stove, and that was our heat. We had a little table that we put there that we ate, and they made us maybe a little cupboard out of some old stuff, I don't know what they had, right there for my cupboard. And then we had the other room, where the cobs were. We had our bed, we had the big chest of drawers, and they fixed the thing across the corner for a closet. And then I had my sewing machine there. Well, after Dick was born, the sewing machine went out and the baby bed went in there.
Okay. You might also tell them about your hospital experience when I was born. You like to share that with them?
Well, what do you want me to say?
Well, there are a lot of people in the hospital in 1932.
No.
Do you remember that year?
Of course, Dick was born in the hospital because we didn't have a home, and I didn't have a mother, he didn't have a mother, and so I said, now we'll just go to the hospital. So that was rare then for babies to be born in the hospital.
How'd you get the money?
Well, you know what? It didn't cost that much then. You know what it cost?
What did it cost?
$50.
Okay. That was a lot then.
And so then when you come along, when I wanted to go to the hospital again, I didn't want to do anything else. And it was right in the middle of Depression. And boy, I scrimped and saved and saved and saved so I get enough money. And
So late.
I think, if I remember right, I had one of my sisters died and left a little money to me. And so I had enough to go to the hospital when you were born. And when I went, the maternity ward was closed. Wasn't anybody in it. They opened it up when I went in. I was there 10 days. And there was one other came in while I was there, and she had a 10-pound boy.
Oh my God.
They didn't get them mixed up. So when we went to go home, the nurse said to Carl, he went to pay his bill. He wanted to say what it was. He said, how much can you afford to pay? It was Depression time. And he said, well, I paid $50 from 2 years ago or whatever it was. And she said that would be just fine.
For 10 days.
You can't believe that, can you?
But didn't you weigh 4 pounds?
I weighed 4 pounds and the other boy weighed 10 pounds, and he had red hair, so we looked a little bit different. That's great, Mom. I thank you for...
Grandma, what's your favorite part about being a mother?
What?
What's your favorite part about being a mom?
Your favorite part of being a mother?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Or any special memories of being a mom or of Christmas time or anything like that?
I don't know. Nothing special.
Okay.
Have her tell
Thank
about
you.